I hope you are well. Today, I want to take you through this new topic, and it is called salts. Salts. We are defining a salt as a compound that is formed when either all or part of the ionizable hydrogen of the acid is replaced by a metallic or ammonium ion. What does that mean? It means that salts are derived from acids. I want to give you a simple example which you already know. For example, hydrochloric acid. So we are defining a salt as a compound formed when this hydrogen, ionizable hydrogen of hydrochloric acid, is replaced, let's say, by a metallic ion. For example, if it is replaced by sodium, the salt formed is sodium chloride. So this is a salt. And if it is replaced by ammonium, the salt formed becomes ammonium chloride. So that is the definition of a salt. It is a compound formed when all or part of the ionizable hydrogen of the acid is replaced by a metallic or ammonium ion. Some other books define a salt as an ionic compound consisting of a positive metallic or ammonium ion and a negative ion derived from the acid. Now, if you look at hydrochloric acid, it has hydrogen which is positively charged and chloride which is negatively charged. Chloride radical is negatively charged. So if we look at sodium, which is positively charged and it combines with the chloride from the acid, which is negatively charged, we form a salt of sodium chloride. However, I encourage you to always use this definition, this first one. It is the best. And define a salt as a compound formed when part or all of the ionizable hydrogen of the acid of the ionizable hydrogen ion of the acid is replaced by a metallic or ammonium ion. I have here some examples of salts which I have put in the table. For example, if I have my acid as hydrochloric acid, its formula is that, and hydrochloric acid, the salts it forms are chlorides because it has a chloride. So if sodium replaces the hydrogen of hydrochloric acid, the salt we form is sodium chloride, and you can see it there. I have sulfuric acid. In sulfuric acid, the salts which are gotten from sulfuric acid, they are called sulfates. And if hydrogen replaces, if ammonium ion replaces the hydrogen of sulfuric acid, the salt that we get is ammonium sulfate. Now this acid is called carbonic acid. And why is its formula like that? You know, a carbonate radical has a valence of 2 and hydrogen has a valence of 1. So when they exchange valences, we have H2 then CO3. That is the formula for carbonic acid. And you can see it there. So if calcium replaces one hydrogen, remember we said when all or part. So now calcium is replacing part of the hydrogens and it is replacing hydrogen, so it is called calcium hydrogen carbonate, because now calcium has only replaced one hydrogen, so the other one remains, and the formula of calcium hydrogen carbonate is that one. because calcium has a valence of 2 and hydrogen carbonate has a valence of 1. This is nitric acid. Nitric acid is there, and the salts formed from nitric acid, they are nitrates, meaning if we have potassium nitrate, potassium has replaced one hydrogen and the salt formed is potassium nitrate. As you can see, we have phosphoric acid. The salt formed, the salts are called phosphates, and if calcium replaces one hydrogen there, here we form calcium. If calcium replaces all the 3 hydrogens, we form calcium phosphate. And remember, the valence of phosphate is 3 and the valence of calcium is 2. So that's why there is a 3 here and there is a 2 on phosphate. Types of salts. We have 2 types of salts which are common at your level, and one of them is a normal salt. A normal salt is that one where all the hydrogens have been replaced. For example, look at this hydrochloric acid. It has 1 hydrogen and it has been replaced by sodium to form sodium chloride. So a normal salt is a salt produced when all the ionizable hydrogen of the acid is replaced by a metallic or ammonium ion. Examples: I have sodium chloride where sodium has replaced all the hydrogen of hydrochloric acid. I have ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate means the ammonium ion has replaced all the hydrogen of nitric acid. I have magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate means magnesium has replaced all the hydrogens of sulfuric acid, and we form magnesium sulfate. Calcium phosphate, meaning sodium phosphate means sodium has replaced all the hydrogen of the phosphate. So that one is called a normal salt. Let's move on, and we now look at acid salts. What is an acid salt? An acid salt is a salt formed when only part of the ionizable hydrogen of the acid is replaced by ammonium or metal ion. An example is if you have sulfuric acid and sodium only replaces one hydrogen, so you remain with sodium, but the hydrogen also remains because only one has been replaced. You remain with sodium hydrogen phosphate, sodium hydrogen sulfate. That means only one hydrogen has been replaced. So the other examples are shown here. We have sodium hydrogen sulfate, we have calcium hydrogen carbonate. That means calcium only replaces one hydrogen of carbonic acid. Then we have potassium hydrogen carbonate also as an example. Note, all monobasic acids form normal salts, while diabasic and tribasic acids form both normal and acid salts. We now look at naming salts. We are saying salts are named by adding the name of the radical or ion of the acid after the name of the metal. By adding the radical of the acid after the name of the metal. For example, this is sodium. and the radical of the acid, if the radical of the acid is chloride, so the name of the salt will be sodium chloride. If this is aluminium and the radical of the acid is sulfate, the name will be aluminium sulfate, like that. And that's how the salts are named. So I will stop here, such that you can now, by now, if you copy the notes, and you'll be able to do this work that I have put here. That's all.